Hello, everyone. I'm here with SJ, Partner Marketing Manager at Justuno. Thank you, SJ, for joining us. She's going to be talking about insights to fill your friction points with conversion strategies. And with that, I'm going to kick it over to her.
Yay, thank you, Francesca. I appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Feel free to throw in any questions so we can have a really great combo today. I'm going to be going through our conversion tips and really focusing on some key touch points on site that one, really deliver those engagement numbers that you need to then serve the conversion rates that you would like. So first, we're going to get into addressing friction during exit. And this is all from the perspective of your website. So I like to think of your website as a source of truth and kind of where those first interactions or engagements should happen post click or however they're getting to your website. Second, I'm going to focus on saving same session carts in real time. And the idea with thinking about same session and prioritizing that conversion then is all about being really proactive and reactive. So when you combine that with the behavioral insight that you're getting, with all the good data that you have about your site, and of course, everything that you have on Triple Whale too, you're able to see some gaps where you can really target. And we like to think of those gaps as these touch points on site that are meant to be engaged with at that point to increase conversion. And we'll get into reacting to key visitor signals. So our tips are around these, and I'll get into kind of how I would envision you do that with a tool like Justuno. So when we are talking about addressing friction during exit, we can think about that in this workflow example that I have here on the right. And for an exiting visitor, you can definitely target all visitors with your exit offer. And that's something that I would encourage you to do for the holidays, just to make sure that you're getting the exposure to all of that traffic that you're driving and really making the most out of those clicks and the money that you're probably investing in getting those clicks. So when we think about exiting, that's like an SOS from the visitor that they didn't find something they were looking for. Maybe there was confusion. All of that is what encompasses friction in what we're talking about. So we want to think about setting up a workflow for these exiting visitors in this way. We want to first target a segment. For the holidays, I'm going to say, let's target all visitors, but we can look down here to the left and consider these specific segments, and I'll get into that too. So once you pick your segment, you're then setting up this if-then branch that is then just throwing someone into either they're exiting, you can see this is a browse abandonment here on the left-hand side, or they're exiting with items in their cart here on the right-hand side. So those are two different creatives, something very quick that you can spin up either with these template examples or just swapping things out to really fit your brand. The idea here is that we are lowering bounce rate, lowering cart abandon rate, increasing time on site, and we're really focusing on that time to conversion, which goes in line when we think about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and just the urgency that we're trying to get those conversions and move inventory and understanding like the merchandising trends that are happening during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. This type of workflow is what allows you to like keep that engagement up when it comes to moving products and keeping people on site to get to checkout, which is the next step. So I highlighted here some segments too, and I wonder how many of you are actually prioritizing segmentation right now during the holidays, or if you're maybe prioritizing more like blanketed to all visitors type of campaigns. But where we can think of this a little more strategically, if you don't want to have some sort of just general exit, is we can target window shoppers. So that's our first example here on the left, where they don't have anything in cart. They've probably traveled a page or two, and we're actually showing them just some navigation help based off of what they're trying to do or who they're shopping for. So for him, for her, for themselves. And not only do we get to use that CTA to take them to the next appropriate page or click, we are also able to save that data as a custom property that you can then send over to your ESP or your SMS or any other marketing tool to allow for further segmentation. So if you know that they clicked on the for her CTA, you can apply that to a custom property saying, okay, this visitor is interested in women's products. That is then just a property that is associated with that visitor that you can then target them based off of. And then we, of course, have our cart abandoners, which is a type of exiting. I'll get into that segment a little bit more. In this example, we are just targeting someone that is exiting with items in cart. And that's just kind of that general overlay that you can have in terms of targeting. You can build your own segment. I love this idea for those that are really focused on a VIP segment for the holiday and making sure that they are feeling like they're getting the best and like you're building up that loyalty in the holidays as well. So with building your own, maybe that looks like someone that has spent over $500, is subscribed to email and SMS. Maybe they've sent in a review as well. That could be something that you stipulate as your VIP, and that could just be like a temporary VIP for your holiday, and someone that you can continue to target post January. And then paid traffic, of course, I think that's like the easiest, or that should be our go-to segment if we are going to try a segment in targeting, because you are investing in that traffic already, and it's a little easier to know why they click through to get to your website in the first place. I love it. I am seeing that cart abandoners are a priority for some of us. Segmentation is new. I love that. Well, hopefully this will give you some insight into different segmentation options. So tip number 2, after you focus on those people that are just flowing through your website and not purchasing at all, we can get into same session carts. So this is specifically for people that do have something in cart, but we're getting more specific in our targeting, which allows us to prioritize inventory that we have to move or act on signals such as, they purchase this hero product, then they are most likely to purchase XYZ product. Great data that you can get out of Triple Whale too. So in this example here that I have on the right for this workflow, we are once again starting with a segment that we would want to target, which is just all visitors that may be having something in their cart. And then specifically, we can cater these designs and these variations or the offers and the messaging based off of what is in that cart. So this example is just they have a certain amount in their cart and we have different thresholds. So that could be people with lower carts versus higher carts. Another way that you could think about this type of cart segmentation and targeting, so that you're not giving everyone every offer or every kind of message, is we can think about specific SKUs that you want to target. So in the hero example, you can put just if they have that one item in cart, if that exists, what else could you possibly maybe recommend or maybe educate on at this point just to get them through to that conversion? And when it comes to carts, we do have these different incentives that I want to highlight, because I know like for the holidays, you should just have one offer on your website that is what you're relaying in each of your channels. There are the exceptions for the VIP status, customers that you may have, or maybe just a unique segment that you may be wanting to target. But overall, you want to have at least one offer on your website that you are able to showcase with your welcome pop-up so that everyone knows what the general offer is, and some sort of follow-up banner on your website that keeps that message top of mind and allows for them to access any details about the offer that they want. And then we can get into these further incentives that will just support that discount or offer the major sale that you're having. So some things that we've really seen move the needle, things like extended returns and exchange window information, warranty and guarantee, of course. I think that's a big one when it comes to gifting. Higher discounts, if you can offer that, like we were mentioning, the VIP status, or someone coming from paid traffic, I could see where maybe a higher discount incentive would really do the trick there. And then reviews and user-generated content. It's great for you to have reviews and user-generated content on your website. A lot of the times that's something that people are scrolling through. So it's really helpful to have additional CTAs that actually lead to this area on your website, or you're just pulling relevant reviews, you're putting that in your pop-up, or you're putting in videos and getting kind of like that product experience out in front of the visitor. My next tip is going to be reacting to key visitor signals. So this is all about, pop-ups and what their intention is whenever someone triggers one. And these key signals can be anything from behavioral to just click actions on the website. And where I would start in this case is actually top sources as a really good signal to go off of to serve up something really relevant in terms of a pop-up that gets to the next click and then to the conversion. So in this example that I have here, once again, let me go back. Once again, we're starting off with the all visitors segment. We then have this if then branch that is able to take us into these different sources or channels. So this is where your UTMs come into place, and we're able to serve up something that is going to meet the expectation of the click. So whether it's us responding to them like they're exiting, or maybe it's the welcome approach that you want to take to the website. This is how you can respond to these key visitor signals and increase that engagement and time on site. And the idea is that you just keep them educated, keep them engaged with your brand throughout that session. So top sources we can look at, of course, influencers or any creatives that you're working with, any kind of referral sources. I've seen right now brands lean into collaborating with other brands, not necessarily the same exact product or anything like that, but things that really go well together in terms of products, and then trying to meet that extended audience. We also have ads that we can target from, and then of course your own channels of email and SMS flows. And the idea here is that your email and SMS flow, that is probably a visitor that has a little bit more intent. One, because they've been getting that one-on-one attention via these owned channels from you, versus that secondhand commentary from influencers or referrals or ads. You're able to get that first impression across a little better in email and SMS flows. And that translates really nicely to conversion rates across the board, typically when you have someone coming from email. So it's important to at least really lean into your own channels and what you can do. I hate to say low-hanging fruit, but yeah, anyone coming from your own channels is that low-hanging fruit, because you've already done that hard work of presenting your brand in the best light. So getting that click through, it's just about meeting that expectation once they do. So we have this example on the left here. It's like not quite sure what to gift. We have those options to complete a guide and get them to either the right recommendations, or this is kind of where you should look advice. And then on this right-hand side, we have people coming from paid or organic traffic, and that could be where we lean into lead capture. So I'll point out here that for the holidays, we typically advise here at Justuno that you turn off your lead captures, or at least not have them be the first thing to pop up on your website during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. The idea is that you should be prioritizing the conversion at this point. So that's where just your general website offer message should take place. And you can save a lead capture for someone that is exiting or even abandoning cart if you are so prioritizing email capture or SMS capture. So of course, I know you probably want to see some numbers and some examples. I love this one by Tipsy Elves. This is an example of someone coming from that owned channel perspective. So they got the email, they're getting that CTA to get the special offer. Right away, you're greeting them with that pop-up here in the middle that has the urgency and the timer. We have the code, and then we have the view cart. So all of these things, like if someone clicks on the coupon code, that is a click that we can track, and we can understand engagement on a pop-up like this for the email traffic. Same thing with the view cart. When someone sees that, we understand that is a click on a CTA of this particular pop-up, and that is leading them through to the journey. So finally, they'll get to the cart, they'll be able to have their code applied, and they have that smooth experience. So this setup, it just kind of depends on how you have this this email set up. Whether you want to save the offer for the website, that's going to help you get that click through up and actually just keep that experience going, versus just relying on someone to do all the work and getting the code, making sure it's applied, or just waiting till they get to checkout to see if it's applied. This pop-up is a way to have kind of that personal shopper mode enabled. I know with the holidays and like just with past experience, you're not always sure where that coupon code is, where it went. If you're browsing on desktop versus mobile and you go back and forth, like that could just be a lot to go off of. So having something that is just here right in their face in the form of a pop-up is going to get us that engagement. And we can see here, just as an example, When we tested this, and we have our control group, so that's visitors that are not going to see this pop-up when they click through, we had an 11% conversion rate. And then on mobile, when someone did get that pop-up and they did engage, either by clicking the coupon code or the view cart, it got up 3 times to 33% conversion rate. And we can see that really translated into the desktop experience as well. So very clearly, this is like a significant part of your revenue that is not meant to be like, we want to implement these strategies so that we can either supplement our email and our SMS flows later on, and then primarily to get that conversion during that same session and not take them away from your website.
Hey,
Francesca, I see you
SJ.
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Last one.
I know you have so much more info, and I feel like the people that were on really liked all the info. So if you guys have questions or want to connect, there's the free website conversion audit. You can scan the QR code or go to Justuno's booth. SJ and the team will be in there to answer any questions, because I know that a lot of you actually found this really informational. So thank you so much, SJ. I think this is a lot of stuff that we don't talk about sometimes on Logistics Peak Prep, but everyone was really interested in what you were talking about, and you had a lot of actionable items. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you in the next session.